All right, we're back here for another Spinato Spin. Glad to have you here. Welcome aboard if you're new. But I'll tell you what, it's super to be here. Love doing this. This is a lot of fun for me, and I hope it's not only a lot of fun for you, but something you can really find value in and carry forward. You know, the thing about a lot of what I'm going to talk about tonight real quick is it's not so much the message. It's kind of like who's the messenger, who's bringing you the message. There's a lot of things out there that go on every day you kind of overlook. You just put yourself in position to find things, and the next thing you know, you're in a situation where you're not sure what's going on. You're not sure why you're doing certain things. You know, I gave a talk a while ago in front of a bunch of people, and basically I said, why do you do what you do? And that's a crazy question, but really if you think about it and you start understanding what I'm talking about, it really focuses in on what thought goes through your mind before you decide to do something. Now here's something to consider. And ask yourself this question, and this is one question that Jim Rohn asked, and Jim Rohn is a great motivational speaker, kind of a low-key guy, really didn't get up and start screaming and yelling, but really tried to get to the audience by asking penetrating questions. Well, one thing he said real simple was, you got to know your environment. You know, a lot of people consider how people grow up has a lot to do with their environment. I, for one, believe that. If you grow up in the ghetto, it's tough to get yourself out of the ghetto. If you grow up in a rich, ritzy area, it's pretty hard to get out of that ritzy area. You wind up in a ritzy area, you wind up hanging around with who? A lot of people that are like you. And that's one thing that Jim Rohn focused on. He said real simple, who you hanging with? Who you spending most of your time with? Now the real tough questions come out. And they're listed here. We don't have them up on the board or anywhere else. But the bottom line is the questions come out like this. They come out like, well, what have they got you thinking about? What the people that you spend a lot of time, what have they got you thinking about? What have they got you reading? What have they got you doing? How long do you spend with those people? Why do you spend it with them? And the other question is it okay? Is it all right that you're spending time with those people? You got a choice. I mean, life's loaded with choices. Life's loaded with opportunities. And there's more choices than you can ever realize, and that's one of them. Who you spending your time with? How long will you spend the time with somebody? Do you hang out with people that drain you? Or do you hang out with people that lift you up? There's very draining people out there, and they'll drain you if you let them. I was in a situation a while back, long time ago, where I was all fired up and I love to talk to people and try to motivate them. And I was in a sales office, a satellite sales office. They were in the main office. And all of a sudden I started getting bombarded with phone calls saying, hey, I understand you're a great motivator. Motivate me. I was like, all right, well, what are you doing now? And then I just started asking, well, why are you doing that? And I just started asking questions from there to understand why they were doing what they were doing. And it turned out that they didn't want to answer some of the questions. See, a lot of people don't like it when you take the mirror and you put it in their face. A lot of people don't want to see exactly how they're doing. They're not ready for it. So I couldn't motivate them. But you know what happens a lot? They drag you down. They're not happy. They're going to try to encourage. You know, there's an old saying, misery loves company. Well, let's double that. Misery loves miserable company. See, that's what they want to do. Did you ever hear the story of the crabs in the bucket? Crabs in the bucket work real simple. If you had two lids and you want to put them on a bucket full of crabs, you had to make a decision. Where would you put the crabs? Would you put it on a bucket full of crabs, or would you put it on one crab? Well, the bottom line is, if you had a bucket full of crabs and you had one crab in one bucket, the smartest thing to do is to take that lid and put it over the one with one crab. Well, why would you do that? You got a lot to lose if those crabs get out. Guess what? Those crabs don't get out. Why don't those crabs get out? Because one crab pulls the other one down whenever it tries to get ahead, whenever it tries to get out of the container. Crabs in a bucket. Watch out with the people you hang with. See what they're doing for you and not for you. And also ask yourself, is it okay? You're the boss. You're in control of stuff like that. And you know what? I'm going to point out one other thing, and I want to keep moving on this, is we're all salespeople. Anyone that doesn't think that they're a salesperson is missing the boat on life. You're selling somebody on something every day. Really every minute of the day when it comes down to it. Think about what you do every day. Are you doing it in a good attitude? Are you trying your hardest? You're trying to convince people that you should be better than where you are. Your job is to get yourself ahead. We don't live on a flat surface. We live on a hill. Either you're going forward or you're falling back. That's the reality, folks. And if you don't understand that you're selling yourself every step of the way, then you're missing the boat. And another thing, too, is what have you bought? What do you represent? What do you stand for? How tough are you when the going gets tough? How much are you going to care about what you're doing to keep moving forward when the obstacles come your way? You got to figure out a way to sell yourself on yourself and to yourself. It's always going to come down to those simple facts, folks. It's going to come down to who you're hanging with, what are they doing for you, and really the bottom line is it okay? You're the captain of the ship. You're the director of the movie. You're the leading guy. You're the one that writes the finishing story. It's all about you. This is your game, and this is your life. And I'll tell you what, it's great speaking to you on the Spinato Spin, but I want to make sure one thing is completely clear as we break company here. I want you to win. I want you to win. I'm not the crab in the bucket trying to pull you down. I want to push you up. I want to see you go on to incredible things. I want you to one day send out a tweet to me at Cecilia Message and say, thanks for helping me out. You got me going. You got me off my butt. You know, there's one thing you got to understand about leadership, too, and I'll go one step further and I'll let you go on this. The challenge of a leader is to get people to change. No matter what it is, there's always something you can get better at, and sometimes you have to change to do it. But here's what happens. A lot of people are so afraid and so determined not to change that they convince themselves that the situation they're in, even though it's uncomfortable, they're willing to stay there just to resist change. It's like going to the dentist with a toothache, right? And the guy's got to pull it. Oh, no, it doesn't hurt that much. I'll get out of there. No problem. Yeah, let me go. It's okay. No. We got to pull that tooth. Well, the bottom line is you got to understand that it's your chance and it's your life. And I really hope you help out. Any comments, suggestions, whatever, go to @Cecilia Message, and the Spinato Spin will be glad to answer whatever questions and offer whatever support we can. Thanks a lot, and I hope to talk to you next week.